Because we already know that if you've been following the political crisis in River State up until the state of emergency, you'd agree with me that, the issue of jurisdiction was one major debate in the state as it relates to the plethora of court cases that characterized the state at the time. And, when a court does not have jurisdiction, it means that the court cannot. That's what I learned in the space of those debates. That a court cannot give a ruling, a judgment, a declaration, an order on that issue because it does not have jurisdiction. But once again, it puts me in a state of fear, in a state of conundrum, in a state of despair as well. If the Supreme Court, which is the apex court of the land, is saying that it does not have the jurisdiction, I wonder who does. And I wonder if this sets a precedent for more suspension. And what's his name now? The actor turned lawyer, turned politician, Kenneth Okonkwo, I think that's his name. I think he's now an ADC, from a Labour Party, now an ADC ESCO member. Yeah, he said, this could mean that a future president could come in and decide to say, hey, for so reason, we're declaring a state of emergency in the 36 states of the federation, and decide to suspend the governor and the House of Assembly for a period of time. Anyways, I wonder what your reactions are to it. One, they didn't have jurisdiction, so they did not rule on it. However, they gave their opinion, which is caused a debate, and they were tilting towards the argument that the president may just have the right, the extraordinary phrase that a lot of people, a lot of lawyers, I should say, have used to make the argument on behalf of the president. The Supreme Court may have argued in that light. It brings so many questions to mind. Is the Supreme Court afraid of something? Is the court, not just the Supreme Court now, the courts generally, are they really independent in the face of the kind of political movement that we're seeing? And once again, I beg whoever is out there who probably will flag my conversation if I were to go overboard. This is not me going overboard. I'm just asking some hard questions. And one of it is, there's so much talk about a one-party state. Yeah, the presidency have denied that. The presidency have denied one-party state. But they're all of those talks. And, my goodness, everybody's afraid of our democracy. There were also rumors about a coup plotted a few months ago. Was it a month or two ago? And denied, by the way, but all of these rumors may just be, what do you call it now? A fire with smoke. I'm trying to look for the right phrase to describe it. But yeah, there could be just something out there that we're not necessarily being told. And, the essays and all the rumors and conspiracy theories flying around. This is a cause for concern, because the judiciary is what balances democracy, because we've got three arms. It's supposed to be a tripod stand when you talk government of democracy or democratic government. It has to be a tripod stand. The executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. But what do I know? I like to hear from you. But let's not quickly go to the second big story for today. So, I was called on, but by the way, I should apologize. We could have had wonderful conversations yesterday, but I didn't pick my phone. I didn't know I was supposed to be on duty yesterday. But, when I was then told, I said, what's happening? I started going around trying to look at what's happening, and I turned on the TV, which I usually don't do. And my goodness, I saw the spat, can I call it that, between Dangote and the petroleum downstream sector, and that interview over the weekend, was it the weekend or was it yesterday now? It was so hilarious. Dangote called pressmen like a certain politician in Rivers State will do. He had all the TV stations, radio stations gathered in the hall, I think the whole of the Dangote Refinery, and he started speaking about a particular gentleman, Mr. Farouk, right, who spent $5,000 training his children in an overseas secondary school, and how that is not palatable with the salary he earns, or it's not proportionally, how did they say it in chemistry back then? Was it physics? It's not directly proportional to the salary he earns, and calls for an investigation. And according to him, the reason why he's calling Farouk is because, or I think is because it's still, an ongoing accusation, is because, Farouk is giving licenses to a plethora of importers to petrol into the country, which in his argument is damaging his business. Hello, Mr. Dangote. Competition is what makes an economy thrive, is what makes a market solid. We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket, but I get your point. If local production is to grow, is to if it's to become profitable, and we want investors to come into the country, then we need to cut down on importation and do a lot of local production. And over time, when we've got a lot of supply to meet demand, and maybe even more supply than demand, then the prices will crash. However, there are two truths in this part between Dangote and the downstream, in the sense that we need competition, but then also we need the competition to be local, right? For that reason, Dangote this morning dropped the price of petrol drastically, and he said, you know what? I dare you importers, I dare you to the price war with me. I dare you. And I was reading the article this morning, was it on the Vanguard, and I couldn't help but laugh so hard. And he's saying, if they try him, he's going to put out more CNG trucks. These guys can come up with, unionization and say, we would not, we would not distribute your petrol to the filling stations. And he said, hey, if you try me, remember I put out some CNG trucks earlier, I'm going to put out more CNG trucks. I think he said 2,000, was it 4,000? I can't remember now. But he said, I'm going to put out more CNG trucks if you try me. So yeah, there's an ongoing war. The House of Reps is thinking of what's it called now? Intervening. Oh my, I don't have a commercial. I'll tell you all about this story when I come back. I love the stories, right? When I come back, we'll talk some more. Stay tuned. And yes, we were talking about the spot between Dangote and the downstream. See, as hilarious as the story can be, the story is, for me, it points to certain things, the Godfather effect. And I think it's a Nigerian syndrome, where in our own little ways, in our own little corners, we all want to be godfathers. I mean, we point accusing fingers at the politicians, and we say, oh, as intoxicating, has intoxicated them, and all that stuff. But hey, we just may be a reflection of people we have in government. If this person who works for the government, or is it downstream now, should I call it that? And, is arbitrarily giving out licenses, if the accusations are real, then that might just be the Godfather syndrome, and of course it's corruption. It's corruption in all sense. However, if indeed the gentleman, the Farouk guy is doing the right thing, however, Dangote is not having it, then he also means, that in a way, the Dangote is intending to be the godfather in the petroleum, the sector. So I don't know. I never take sides, right? I look at it from both sides of the divide. I love to look at both sides of the divide. It gives you an open mind and allows you to think freely. But I wonder what you're thinking. I do know this favors you and I, that's for sure, because our travels this Christmas may not be as expensive given, the drastic reduction. I think we bought petrol the other day. Was it sometime last week? Was it on Friday? We bought petrol at 895 liters. That's like a drastic reduction if indeed Dangote has decided to leave it at 669 per liter. But let's now quickly move to my final big story. And this is to my Igbo brothers. Igbo Kwelu. So, one of yours, one of the governors in the 5 southeastern states has come out to say, stop the move for Biafra. That there is no marginalization anymore in the southeast. And of course, I'm happy you say that, because I'm one person who believes in one Nigeria. One person, I've never hidden. That's one part that I've never hidden. I've never been straight about, and that's the fact that I believe in one Nigeria. I believe that we have the intelligence, we have the resources, we have the manpower, we have all it takes to make Nigeria work. It's just corruption, greed, those two ingredients that have soured the soup. And I'm happy you say that, but I wonder if it's right when he says that there is no longer a marginalization of the Southeast, because we would need stats to that the administration has done all that it takes to carry along the Southeast alongside every other geopolitical zone in the country. So my brothers, this is not an avenue for you to, because you already know that I'm not a proponent for Biafra. You know that already. So this is not an opportunity for you, or an avenue for you to come talk about that. But I'm wondering, let's stay with marginalization. Do you agree with, by the way, I think it was Umahi? Was it Umahi who said that? I need to go to my notes now and check. But yeah, was it Umahi? Or was it Uzodima? I think those names confuse me sometimes. But we'll get to that. But the point is, the actual conversation is that, this very individual said there is no marginalization in the Southeast anymore. And so there shouldn't be any clamoring for Biafra, because, Biafra was a way to say, hey, you're marginalizing us in the Southeast. But what do you think? What do you take? What do you take? Yeah, Umahi. Yeah, Umahi, the minister, not the governor, the minister. Umahi is the one. So what do you make of that? The Southeast Development Commission is one of the things that the Southeast would enjoy going forward. The fact that a couple of governors there are now APC members, so maybe they're being carried along, giving affinity with the center. A couple of things in my head, but not to waste your time, I'm going to the full lines now, because it is the bottom of the hour. Remember, my name is Kaladakoru Batubo, and you're listening to Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Big Stars is the segment, and the phone numbers to get your thoughts expressed are 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. Please do note that you can send messages via WhatsApp to 0809 0306416. All right, so send your WhatsApp messages, and we're live on Facebook, Nigerian PH. We're live on YouTube, Nigerian footage. Read your messages as well. That's designates the post, and I read your comments. Like I said, it's going to be one of those shows where we have to look at some uncomfortable conversations, and we started with the big stories this afternoon. 92.3 Nigerian folk, good afternoon to you. Welcome. Oh my. I missed that one. Oh, was it the network? I don't know, but 92.3 Nigerian folk.
Kalada, good afternoon.
Yeah, state your name, your location, and why you're calling.
Yeah, the 001 of Nigerian phone.
Please, God bless you, but welcome. What's your name?
My name is Anavid. I'm calling from Inkoro.
All right, Ida from Inkoro, welcome.
Yes, first of all, I want to thank Dangote. Dangote don't want the masses to suffer. Dangote, I see him as the governor of River State who don't want the masses to suffer.
Interesting.
When anytime he reduces fuel, NMPs want to cry out. Dangote should please continue reducing, so that by next January, fuel will be sold for 200 naira. And I believe that by the grace of Almighty God, I want to thank Dangote.
But is it really Dangote, or is it the competition?
It's a competition, and Dangote is winning them.
Okay.
And I believe that Dangote is serving Almighty God who created heaven and earth.
Okay.
We don't want Nigerians to suffer.
Okay.
I stand where Dangote stand. My brother.
All right.
Kalada, you're 001. Take it.
All right. And I'm not 001. This is not a political position. We'll leave that for the governor of River State. Okay, I think I may have wronged the figures. So petrol will be sold at 739, not 669. I may have wronged but it's still a drastic reduction nonetheless. Apologies for the wrong figures I've given out there. And I hope my guys could change that on Facebook and on YouTube as well to 739. I may have typed rubbish, right? Apologies for that. But let's go back to the phone lines and let's get the conversations rolling. 92.3 Nigerian folk. Hello.
Good afternoon, Kalaba.
Hey, please, can you be audible? I can barely hear you.
Yes, I can. Calling from Mugumi.
All right, Ezekiel, welcome.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Kalaba, I think if we are talking about the Supreme Court claiming not to have jurisdiction to attend to whatever suit that is before it, that means we should come down to the traditional rulers. I don't know if you get me. When the court of Nigeria will claim not to have jurisdiction of a particular case because of the influence and the ban they had, everybody know that what happened in River State as an emergency rule is unconstitutional, and they are telling us that they don't have any jurisdiction to attend or to even have a judgment on that particular emergency, Mr. Kalada. So it's a shameful thing to Nigeria's judiciary. For Supreme Court, we're talking about a T court or High Court, Magistrate Court. We're talking about the Supreme, the highest court of the nation. I mean, not to have a jurisdiction to attend to the emergency issue in River State. Shame to them.
All right. You keep saying the same thing. Shame to them. You say, but thank you very much. Moving on, 92.3 Nigerian for good evening or good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Your name, please.
Yeah, my name is Chimadik. I'm talking to you from Rombokuta.
All right.
There are some matters that are very sensitive, especially when it comes to security. I think we say classified information.
Okay.
And it has to do with the executive.
Okay.
So if Supreme Court will make you think that their hands are tied in such a matter, don't need to blame them. Because the president foresees, according to what the constitution said, he said when perceive, it don't need to happen. He said perceive and extraordinary measures. Proclamation did not give an extent to it.
So I wonder. Sorry, Chima. I wonder how this is a security. Because it's in the constitution, so I wonder how this is a security matter.
It's a River State issue.
I wonder how it's security.
Now, before an emergency will be declared, there is insecurity.
Okay.
You understand? So now you can understand. So now, if you are maybe wondering about that or having about that issue, go back to the constitution.
Okay.
So go and rewrite it
that is where you have to call your representative. You understand?
Okay.
So to me,
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Summarize, please.
Of marginalization, is there any time Easterners have been marginalized in this nation? I do not subscribe to that.
All right.
You understand? Because the problem we are having in this place, politics of even